Hi, I'm Joe Polizzi, and this is the Content Inc. podcast. 5 minutes every Monday for content creators who desire to be content entrepreneurs. On Wednesday, I presented in front of about 100 marketers or so in Charlotte, North Carolina, at the request of Pace Communications. I've worked on and off with the folks at Pace for almost 20 years now. Great people, great organization, and their clients are big brands in the financial, travel, and service sectors for the most part. I was asked to present on the business of content, but what I really talked about was, here's what I would do if I were you, a content marketer at a large company. I joked at the start and said, at first I would shudder a little bit that I'd actually have to work for someone else again. And then I said, I just sat through the ChatGPT-O demo and told them they should all be looking for new jobs, and that got a little bit of a laugh. But after talking a bit about the content model moving from social to own assets, which I covered on this podcast last week, I talked about 6 things I would focus on, and here they are. The first is hunting for assets. I went back and talked about how I started in B2B publishing, and when I had to do a P&L and a budget for the next year, we would look at growth in 2 areas. Half of it would come organically, and the other half would come through acquisition. And I talked about some of the large acquisitions from like Arrow Electronics and what HubSpot bought The Hustle, and said that there are so many creators, and you know this, there's so many content creators out there that are building amazing content brands, newsletters and podcasts and YouTube channels and events. Why should a large brand wait 12, 18 months, 24 months to build a content brand and an audience that knows, likes, and trusts them when there are so many out there that they could just purchase? So my first point was, please stop just looking at creating something fresh. Before you do that, look and see if it's already out there and buy it. And by the way, if you're a small, medium, or large size company, there are deals that you can actually do right now, no matter what the budget is. Number 2, I talked about growing employee creators. I showed them a picture of a team shop, and I said, this is what I envision our audience doing when they look at our employees, that they want to buy our employees' jerseys and their merchandise because we've helped them create these amazing relationships with our audience and with our customers. Instead of just creating their own brand content, they are taking an internal subject matter expert. They're having them focus on one thing, like a podcast, a video series, a LinkedIn series, a blog post, set them up to produce content consistently, and then integrate that with their overall content marketing plan. I had to reiterate the fact that our employees are our absolute best marketers. And if we're smart, no matter what size company we are trying to figure out a way to help them create content on a regular basis, build an audience, and have them do a lot of the marketing for us, instead of just having the email newsletter come from the brand or the YouTube come from the brand. Have it come from the individual that's part of the content brand, that's part of the company. Number 3 is all about pillar content projects. And if you think about on what topic do you need to be the leading expert in the world, you need a book, you need a documentary, you need to do something big like a Jerry Maguire mission statement. So that's what we did with content marketing when I created the book Epic Content Marketing. That's what HubSpot did with the inbound marketing movement when they launched the book Inbound Marketing and they created the event Inbound. Back in 2014, we created The Story of Content, which was a documentary about content marketing. That's been seen by millions and millions of people around the world. I can't tell you how much that added to our overall business, as well as sharing the mission and philosophy of what content marketing was all about. So think about what is that big mission statement type thing that you can produce, and then that can feed your social media. Then that can feed your email newsletter and feed right back in to your book project or your documentary or whatever that big thing is you're working on. Number 4, and of course, you know me, you've listened to this, I think that there's never been a bigger opportunity than right now with print, especially magazines. So I'm telling them, double down on print. I think that the idea that younger people don't read is a fallacy. I think more and more research is out there saying that young people actually do like print media. And who doesn't want 100% delivery and no competition? And that's what the U.S. Postal Service is right now. If you decided to do a quarterly print magazine, you're not competing with anybody. And these things don't have to be expensive. And at the same time, you can find non-competitive partners that help subsidize your magazine project with advertising. So absolutely think about doing something quarterly, distributing it through the post office, use it as a sales machine. You can get partner support. Man, such a huge opportunity. Number 5, drive diverse revenue in as many ways as possible. And I talked about the Cleveland Clinic case study with their blog, Health Essentials, that they're basically breaking even on the costs of this because they're driving so much ancillary revenue through syndicated content, through consulting, through sponsorship. And we all need to be thinking that way. When Robert Rose and I wrote Killing Marketing in 2017, it was with the idea that the marketing department could actually be a profit center. So it's the same with you. When you build a loyal audience, you can drive direct revenue 6 different ways. You can do advertising and sponsorship, or conferences and events, or premium content, or take donations, or do affiliate marketing, or subscriptions and membership. Or you could do things like content marketing goals, like sell more products, sell more services, keep customers more loyal, or create better customers, better yield on the products and services you do sell. So just think about it. There's not just one way to drive revenue when you have an audience. We should be looking at as many different ways as possible. And if you think about the difference that I shared last week from who is a millionaire and who's not, the millionaire is the person that's driving a bunch of different revenue streams. And the last one is the opportunity and physical experiences. If you talk to anybody who's young today, they probably don't want to go into the office and work, but they absolutely want to go to an event and experience. You can really create a moat for your overall business. And think about how Warren Buffett invests his money with Berkshire Hathaway. He looks for businesses that have a moat around them, a business that's hard to get into. And if you create a popular event, it's very hard for a competitor to duplicate that. So I think that creating that moat in the form of an in-person event is a huge opportunity. So those are the 6 things I really covered. I think it's in this age of AI and talking about all the new technology, I think some of our answers lie in the past. And I think for some reason we're not thinking about it. So I think the things like print and doing physical events and focusing on owned assets and looking at the opportunity in books is just a huge opportunity. And I want to make sure you're thinking about that. So thanks again to the folks at Pace for having me. It was a joy talking with everybody. And I hope this little snippet into what I shared with the folks at Pace helped you. Good luck.